Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Sorry, I'm late. Currently, I live in a state that I have no clue which day we are and what time it is. So I still had to eat. So that's why we're at 8 instead of the normal 7. That is also why we're on the couch. Because honestly, I was too lazy to just everything at the desk again and then move it. Currently on Barbara's book Discord. There's a reading challenge weekend going on. So loads of sprints. We're hanging out all weekend. And I want to do that on the couch. So I was here. But then, I didn't want to move everything. So a bit less aesthetic, maybe. But since the Vampire Knitting Club live shows are always the same base group of people, I think we're gonna be fine. If not, let me know. So the camera is also just from the laptop. It's not great, as is the microphone, but this is what we're dealing with. So it should be fine. Hello, Amy. How you're doing? Hello, Larissa. Welcome, Kate. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you guys haven't had the time to grab something to drink or to snack, feel free to do that now. If you're working on something during this live show, any craft really, let me know. Or if you want to go grab it now, that is fine. I'm making a swatch for the Sailor Swift top. I'm very excited, and I'm very excited for summer knitting. So this is 100% cotton. It feels so soft already. I'm very excited about it. So that's what I'm doing while we discuss the Fair Owl and Fortunes, as well as Lace and Lies by Nancy Warren. And I'm very excited to talk to you about it. I have opinions. I'll see what I can remember. Larissa, this same. I am a bit nervous because I have a lot of opinions about the overall vibe of the books. But then I decided to, try and remember the murder plot, and that was less vivid for some reason. So we'll see. We'll see how far we get. It's all fine. I did see the email, Amy, on the A to Z book challenge, but I didn't really get it. So if you could explain that to me maybe a bit more, that would be great. I didn't get it. Is it a challenge you made? Is it a challenge from a different creator? I'm curious. Fair Isle and Fortune was my favorite of the two. That is so funny. I would say Lace and Lies would be my favorite. But I do think that Fair Isle and Fortune is a very solid book. I did really enjoy it. So, you're probably here because you've read the books. We will do the first part spoiler-free, so if you haven't, you can still stick around. But the first book is about a fair. And they have a fortune-telling stand. And that is lovely. I love that so much. that was really fun. So yeah, I can see why you like that book. I love fortune tellers, stands specifically on fairs. I think that is just, what is it called? You have a specific word, right? For stuff that repeats itself in book. Oh, a trope. I think that is a trope I really enjoy. Fortune teller tens on fairs. That is a trope I really like. So yeah, Fair Eyes on Fortune was having great vibes. Ooh, me too. Yeah, fortune tellers, that's just a thing, right? Out of these two, Lays and Lies is my favorite, but I can't really remember the other books apart from major plot points. Alright. I mostly remember vibes, so together, Kate, we might got this whole book. I found online you just put books you have read on your favorite. One pair, one series. No A or D. Oh, right. Oh, alright. Some letters are gonna be so tough, right? Did you find books for every letter that you would like to read? I feel like the Y is gonna be hard, maybe. These books are like snakes to me. Also, one remote. Yeah, the same. And the thing is that every time I finish these books, I want the next. They're so easy to listen to. I can do it while I drive. I can do it while doing chores. I can do it while knitting. They're so easy, but they're so entertaining. And they really feel like a comfort to me. So every time I finish a book, I want the next one. But then I have to wait for these live shows. Because otherwise I forget what they were talking about and how we should discuss them. But yeah, this is a comfort series to me now. Absolutely. So I would also be wondering if it would be acceptable to you guys, because we're a bit behind with live shows, right? Because I was sick and I didn't read for a while. So I was wondering if it might be acceptable to you guys to do the live show for the 8th and 9th book in the 3rd weekend of July. Not July, in June. So we might get a bit back, because the last weekend of June is very busy for me. And I will not be around. But the 19th, the 20th, or the 21st, I'm off. Because that is the last weekend of my vacation. So I thought maybe we could do the live show for the 8th and 9th book then. Because I don't, we have 4 more weeks. And I think that is very doable for these books. I hope. And then maybe we can get a bit of the logical order back. And then I also can read the next 2 books very fast. Which I do not mind. And warm, yeah, they're very warm and cozy. I love the characters so much. I think that's... No, it's Mayhem and Murder. Yeah, but that can be cozy. Right? I honestly would say they're cozy and forgetting about the murder. I think that is fair. I think it's fair, but the characters are lovable. They always do a cozy activity. Obviously, there's always knitting or crochet, which is very cozy. But then usually they either do a high tea or meet for coffee or getting books. Like, there is always something extra cozy going on. And that's why I love it. People died in it. I know. In a cozy way. Look, it was on a fair. Right? I don't think it's a spoiler to say how people died in this book. Let's just talk about the first book for a second. Because that is when the plot starts, right? So somebody got shot on the fair with an arrow. And I think that is kind of a cozy way to die. But it's a hobby thing, right? It's an interaction of all times. So I'm not sure if it is painful or not, but it reads cozy. I do mine is hard. I mean, it helps when you have a big series with names in the titles like the fairy books. Yeah. You don't have to do them with series too. That makes it so much harder. If you can just do it with, loose books, not all books from a series. So that would be great. Well, oh, great. Could you put an announcement or something in Discord so I remember as I read the books? It's closely. Yeah. Yeah, I will do that, Kate. I will do that. I will put up a poll again. So you guys can choose if it will be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because I don't mind whichever day it is. They back to differ on the cozy. Yeah, fair enough. I don't. Fair enough. But I think it was kind of cute. It was kind of cute. I really like the fair overall. I do wish we'd seen a bit more. Obviously, the trading tent where they brought in, or was it that they brought in items they'd be sold for a good thing, right? Yeah, there was money involved. It was not just trading. We saw a lot of that stand, but I would love to have seen more of the fair. I don't think we got described food stalls or anything, and I would love that. I think that would have been so cozy. And then I love that the witch was the fortune teller, and she can actually see people's future, and then she bluntly told them the future. Like, we finally found somebody who can actually do it and tell you the truth, and then we're all getting angry at it. Because that's not what we want to know. And it's kind of scary. So I really like that vibe. I love the whole shenanigans around it's fake and we're trying to deceive people. I do like that trope too, but I thought this was such a fun twist on it because she can actually do it, but she was so blunt telling them. And then it was so scary that it came true that she almost started the witch hunt again. And it was really scary to see how the community reacted on a murder that looked like a murder 30 years ago that wasn't solved. And how that almost started a new witch hunt. And, more people might die or lose their houses because of that. I do think this book definitely had a more scarier side than the others, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys agree to that or not. But that kind of felt scary to me. But it also felt sort of realistic that could happen. That a murder like this that is unsolved and in a very particular way is setting the community up against each other. And I don't know. That made it more scarier than the rest of the books. So I did like that. And I did like that has been solved by the vampire aunties by giving vampire knitting lessons. I think that is very funny. Let me see if I'm still alive, because nothing is coming through, and that is scary to me. Should be fine. This says I'm online. Alright. It should be fun. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I don't know, it sounded more cute than, I don't know, drowning or poison or something like that. So what do you mean with I like how the mystery was set up in this one? Because I also think this is where my brain is a bit foggy. So I don't dare to guess here. Like, what do you mean? Did you like that, you know, it was connected to a murder 30 years ago? Or did you like that it was looking like it was a certain person for a very long time? Or did you like the motive? Which I'm not 100% clear on anymore, just so you know. I think the thing that makes the most impact on me is the scene in the bar where they almost get mobbed. Like a mob of people doing witch hunt things. That was so scary to me. Which that I didn't immediately guess in which direction you have to go. Oh yeah, I like when they do that. That doesn't happen often in this series. But I like that. I don't think I guessed this one early either. That is true. And I did feel a bit bad for Denise. I don't really like her that much as a character. Violet. She's called, right? I don't really like Violet a lot. But I felt really bad for Violet. And I found her so strong, like, I'm not gonna let them bully out of my house. And then, yeah, but you might be actually in danger, so maybe come over for a weekend. She was like, fine. Yeah, the ugly llama lamp. That was so funny. The beautiful pocket watch and how that related to the story, that I found really smart. I really enjoyed that detail. Yeah, and then the ugly llama lamp she was stuck up with because she needed clues. That was so funny. Because obviously that is the one thing she remembered. That would probably have been stuck in my mind. It's so not helpful. Yeah, I think that's why I like these books. The main character is relatable, but she's clumsy. She's not dumb, but it's also not always the smartest things that she remember, or sometimes her brain gets stuck on weird things, and I like that. I like that in a person. So yeah. So when is this the book? I forgot. Because in the last book, she kind of broke up with a detective, right? Because he was in love with another woman because of the love potion. And Like Ray. Is this the book, Ray? Or did that also happen in the other book? I'm not sure anymore. I should not have got the candy jar down. This is also why I'm not sitting on the couch with live shows. This is where my candy is. I can't really decide if Violet is a good person or not. Sometimes she's supportive and sometimes she directs her down. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I do think that is on purpose. And I kind of like that decision. I also think it's kind of realistic because nobody is always good or always bad. But what I'm wondering with Violet is she does stuff on purpose or she feels very manipulative, and then I'm gonna ask, are you doing a good thing now to be manipulative? So yeah, she definitely sometimes is supportive and sometimes she drags her down. So I always question, like, are you trying to be good but not, just having a hard time with it? Do you have good intentions but is the outcome not always in your favor? Or are you manipulating being good and then so you can get away with the bad or get people on your side? Like, that is always my question with her. Is this long enough? I don't know. I've forgotten lots of this book. Yeah. It's gonna be very interesting when we get to spoilers because, as long as we're talking vibes, I'm good, but we can hop over to Lays and Lies for a bit, I feel like. Spoiler free, still. I really, really enjoyed Lays and Lies. And that is because I've been waiting for 7 books to get a knitting class in that we actually see. There has been talk about knitting classes before, like, oh, I need to find a teacher to do them, we're going to organize them, but not really Lucy learning to knit. People learning to knit and crochet and watch them do it. And that is what I've been wanting from this series from the start. That's what I was hoping we're getting into, especially since the synopsis of the first book specified that Lucy inherited a yarn shop without knowing how to knit, and she's trying to do that, and it's not going well. So I have been wanting to see people learn how to knit and crochet like we are doing since book 1. So that is what I really, really enjoyed in that book. Me too, because I was speedrunning them for the first couple of lives. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Larissa. I love Lucy when she's like, I hope they don't focus on me shows as I can't knit. Yeah. And I love when she says sarcastic things like, yeah, people say it is so relaxing to them. Well, I can't see why, because like it is so frustrating to me. Or yeah, and then it gets all tangled up and it's so frustrating. And I love that because I think that is so realistic. That is how you learn to knit. It is not relaxing in the beginning. It is when you have, when you know the skill and you can do stuff. Then it is relaxing, but your first piece is not going to be relaxing. So I do really enjoy that. I loved her not so square squares. I think that was really funny. I'm usually not a big fan of the whole television show trope, but in this one it was fine to me. It didn't bother me, and I think it was fun to see them make decisions based on we need to get back to viewing and stuff like that. I think that made it interesting. And then we finally had a murdered person with knitting needles, which is also a death I was waiting for. So yeah, I was very excited about this book. I think Lace and Lice is one of my favorites in the series. Just sitting in the back, hoping she was not next to the teacher. And I think that is so funny. And then I love that they put a person in that was obviously trying to be the best in class and tell Teddy that how good she is and that he's making mistakes. Like, she was only there for her own ego. And I thought that was funny. Obviously, she was extremely annoying, and I didn't like her, but yeah. And the whole debate of, oh shit, we have a problem, and the film crew not filming her explicitly while she was thinking she was so important and really wanted to be on the show, that was funny to me. But especially when she got so easily swapped out, that was funny. I don't like the TV show team. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I never liked that trope. There was a bit of a similar scene in both books. In the first one, all the neighbors were knitting together in a knitting group gossiping about who was the killer. Yeah, that is a scene I really liked. But that wasn't... In the second book, we had all discussing while working on their lace. Yeah. Yeah, and I like those scenes because they're so cozy, right? That is such a... I don't know. It feels like a realistic thing. Knitting ladies talking about murder gossip. If that would happen in my town, I would definitely knit with the ladies and gossip about it. I feel that is fair. I don't mind repeating scenes too much if I'm honest. Like, obviously, if we're repeating twists and plots, then I might not be enjoying it as much, but them gossiping about it, like, fair enough. That's definitely an happening that will get you rattled, and most people talk about things like that. So, yeah. The contestants in the bookshop, was it right? Where they got interviewed by the police? That was also a bit tense. That was an interesting scene too. I really enjoyed that. That was a bit different than the rest. Especially when they were not allowed to leave. It got really tense there. For the contestants, and I enjoyed that part. Would it be fun if I knitted lace socks in that book, but alas, I did not. That would be great timing. Didn't see this happen. That's fine, yes, that's fine. I was late. We're just still talking spoiler free. I feel like we're about to end spoiler free because I don't know what to say anymore. But please feel free to talk about any of the two books spoiler free right now. That is totally fine by me. You haven't missed a lot. But I think that is my thoughts on these books, spoiler free. It's the first one, the one her cousin is in a lot. How do you mean in a lot? The first one is about the fair where her cousin is the fortune teller. And she is telling people's real fortunes. And people are not liking it. Because she's quite blunt about it. Most of the time it's not what people want to hear. And then they also come true. And she almost starts a witch hunt. That is the first book. That is the Fortune and Fell Aaron Fortune. Which, fair, I always call her work in case you're wondering on the knitting terms. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And the second is the stupid show. Yeah. The second is the TV show that I did really appreciate for it finally having knitting classes we see happening. We finally see people learning how to knit. And that is what I've been wanting from the first book. So I did enjoy that one. Larissa, though, preferred the fortune book. And then Kate preferred Lace and Lice, which is with a stupid show. I like those predictions, and it reminded me tried archery once and it was terrible. I tried archery once and I was great. And with great, I mean the first 2 arrows I hit were in bullseye. And then I stopped because it was like, I can never repeat this again. The first time was obviously, an accident. And then people called it an accident. And I bluffed and I told them, no, it's skills. Look. And I did it again. And then I accidentally hit it again. And then I was like, oh no, I can't do this again. I can't bluff again. So I stopped. Oh, both of them referred to a Jersey accent and I was pissed. Oh, I'm sorry. What is even a Jersey accent? I don't know how that sounds. Probably not how they said it sounded, right? That's why it was annoying. I think I hit the top of the fence and almost lost an arrow. Oh, I was working at Rich Kids Camp. And the kids were very intense, so there's that. Yeah, that is funny. I was walking with kids in a museum that you could do archery in as well. And so the teacher asked beforehand, have you ever done it? I was like, no, I haven't. And then they didn't believe me. So yeah, it was funny. But then the second time I did it, like a different go, I wasn't as good. And then I did it the third time, and then I was very, very close to the bullseye again. So, thinking that it be. But that is funny, right? That is fun. Shall I put spoilers on the screen? Shall we see how much we can actually remember from spoilers? Because that is where it gets tricky for me, I feel like. Because I do not remember a lot about the plot of the books. So if we're talking spoilers, let's do Fair Owl and Fortunes first. So that is the fortune telling one. I think I've said everything I remember about the book. They're doing the fortunes. Violet, starting a witch riot because her fortune about people dying in the water or on the water actually came true. That's also a scary scene though in the cafe when they were all pointing like she's a witch, and then the woman came with a crystal, right? That should actually work because the witch next to her was like, no, this works. Don't let her come near. This is a problem. And then the vampires had to rescue them. So she was shot with an arrow. And then the witch was gone. right? So the watch contained clues, and I really, really like that. Specifically since that it was the carvings in the watch that made it special, but also that was the clue. So I did enjoy that. And I enjoyed the fear they all felt for the witch hunt, because I feel that is so real. That is such a... Yeah, I feel like that still counts today. And it felt very realistic on how fast a community can turn. I can't even remember the victim of the murder names. No. I don't even know if I remember who the murderer was, if I'm completely honest. I don't know. I know that it was not the guy they were thinking it was. I did like that the detective that had the case 30 years ago, that he was working with her. I really liked it, and I liked him as a character. And I like that she won him over with doing gardening. I remember there was a love triangle thing going on with the... Oh, yes, that is correct. Victim and best friend, and they're still going on the cruise, even after the murder. Yeah, that was weird, right? That was very weird. I did not like that part. True, there was a lot of drama then. Or the death from Elf. I don't remember that. I love a vague prediction. It's prophecy adjacent, and I love a prophecy. Yeah, I love prophecy. Also, I love fortune teller boots and fairs. And I don't mind if they're real or if they're purposely fake and scamming people. I love both of those tropes. I remember there was a used car dealer idea. Yeah, but that was the husband, right? That was selling cars. And he was not doing well. So they didn't have a lot of money. They had money troubles because he was doing terrible. I think that was the husband. And that's why he was a person of interest at some point. And then the friend was a person of interest sometimes, because there was this left triangle. And she might wanted to do it for himself. Yeah, he did suck, Jess. That is clear. Yeah, he did suck. And then there was this owner of this... Oh, no, it was the dude that we expected, right? No, it was. But not clear. So, 30 years ago, somebody murdered in exact the same way. And they all thought it was the dad of the dude still living in that big mansion. And then the lady with the old detective go to that house, and she feels a ghost. I did really like that. I thought we were gonna see more of that ghost, so that is unfortunate. And then they found the watch. So it was his son. And it was also the son who did it the first time around. And not the dad. And everyone expected the dad, I feel like. Or was he the one that was expected and he actually was it? And that's why I didn't see it coming. Because it's usually not the one that everybody expected to be. I'm a bit confused, guys. Who remembers? Oh, wasn't it the last that owned the house or venue or whatever? Yeah, the big house. It was the big house owner. Because it was a thing with the land, right? I think it was about the land. No, we're definitely thinking of the same book, Jess. We're definitely thinking of the same book. It was that dude in the big mansion, and it was something with land. that was part of the motive. That was it, but this is so terrible. I can't remember. I can't remember the murderer, which is quite important in a murder mystery. And I also don't get why Nyx is on the cover, because Nyx didn't really play a big role, right? Like Nyx did in the television show, but not in this one, I feel like. Like they own the house, but the last own the land. Yeah, I feel like that is what it... Can come back and teach us about the UK? I did feel like it is a UK thing, this. No, we have it too in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands it's called erfpacht. We have it, but it is not as common anymore. Nyx is cute. Nyx is cute, absolutely. I don't mind Nyx being on the cover, but it did make me wonder if I missed something. Because he's usually on every cover, but not as prominent. Look, he's there too. But not as prominent, so... That's when I tell... Did I misremember? Did I forget something about Nyx? Because that would be an important part. What did you rate this book? What did you rate Fortune and the Fair Owl and Fortunes? That's it. What did you guys rate it? Also, just the one thing you missed that is important is that we would like to have the live discussion for the next two books on either the 19th, the 20th, or the 21st of June. If that is okay with you too. I don't think so yet. Yeah, no, I don't think so. The moment I nip to the loo, what did I miss? What do I need to teach you? Sorry. It's, maybe you remember. I was struggling to remember who murdered him. And then I remembered it was the dude in the mansion. And it had something to do with land. So just as like, right, they own the house, but the last owned the land. And I was like, yeah, I think that is what it is. And then Kate was like, yeah. Just was like, Kate, come back, teach us about the UK and how it works. Because we were very confused. And I don't remember. Was he the one that also was suspicious from the start and everybody expected it to be him? Or was it his dad that everybody expected to do it? And then it turned out it was the son. 3.5 stars? Nice. Nice. I think I gave it 4 stars. Mainly because I don't do half stars. No, and I really enjoyed it. I like the vibes of the fortune telling and the witch hunt. Oh wow, I have a ton of work that weekend. Oh, I have to myself. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the thing is I have a lot to do the last weekend of June. And we're a bit behind on live shows. So I would like to have this one definitely in June. And that is the latest weekend I have time. And then we can read it fast. The other thing we could do is do it the second weekend. But then I have to... then the Yesterday Crumb will be the first weekend of June. Because I feel like the first and the second weekend for Yesterday Crumb was similar or the same in votes. And there's a land ownership thingy here when you can sell off parts. Alright. Don't read them anymore. They're about me and also I kind of love it. Yeah. Yeah, fair. Same. They usually get either 4 or 5 stars. 4 stars for unfortunate. 5 for Laser Light. I had the same, Kate. I had the exact same. Yeah, true. Yeah, I thought it was the lady who owned the huge house and also the rich people's house from the first murder. Oh, that could be it. I don't really remember. I'm so sorry. I enjoyed it though. I really enjoyed this. These 2 books. This is the one where Lucy gets the hideous... Yes, this is the one with the llama lamp. Yeah. So if we do Yesterday Crumb on the 5th, we could do book 8 and 9 on the 13th of June. If that helps you out, Jess. And, you know, Kate and Larissa are still available. The llama lamp was also something Larissa very quickly mentioned. So yeah, it is the book with the lamp. The very hideous lamp she got for needing a clue. And that obviously was the one thing she remembered. That was funny. Lucy goes to pick it up and then sees the painting with the watch. Yes. And I love that the watch and the painting, that was the clue that they figured it out on. I really enjoyed it because the watch was described very early on. So. And does it matter if it is Friday or Sunday that weekend instead of the Saturday? Does that help? If you could do it on the oh, this is June, so the 14th or the 12th, I would be up for that too. No, that doesn't matter. All right. Then we'll keep it probably the weekend, the third weekend. Which is a shame for Jess, but otherwise it's gonna be July again. So then I keep being behind, and I don't like that. Till 6 we do. Yeah, then we'll just do June 19th, 20th, or 21st. Because the week after I have a wedding and paint or laser gaming with vampires. And that's also the week that my work has a summer thing, and yeah. But for everyone else, I'm okay missing one. I have a thing to watch when I emerge from work that one. Yeah, you can definitely watch it back. We will say hi to you. You remember, I'll say, hi, Jess. Welcome watching this back. So, how about Lace and Lies? We can do spoilers right now. So, Lace and Lies is the one with the TV show. I usually don't really like TV show things. Oh, the week after is your birthday weekend. Happy birthday. That is fun. That is fun. Sorry, did I hear that right? Let's give. Yes, that is the plan. So, the park I went to for the Halloween events, that park has his 25th anniversary this year. So, what they're going to do in that last weekend of June is celebrating it by being open for 25 hours straight. So they start at 3 on Saturday and they will end it on 3 on Sunday. And they have loads of activities. And around midnight, so the witching hour. And one of them is that they have the parades of the full seasons of all 4 seasons, including the Halloween parade, obviously. And then at midnight, they have an activity to laser game with the vampires that they introduced last year during Halloween event. So yeah, you're actually you're able to laser game with those scare actors. But it's at midnight. I really want to go. But yeah, that means that I can't do it that weekend. Because the Friday is a wedding. Saturday I'm laser gaming with vampires. And Sunday I'm that. I am one of them. I like that the lamb made another appearance. I forgot about that, but that is true. Hope that will continue. The lamb is an icon now. Yeah, I do feel that. I think that might be the case, though. I think this author can recognize that and do something with it. My friend in college had terrible lamp. She loved it, and I still think of it often. Yeah. Yeah. I can see this happening. It would be fun if the lamp returns. I didn't remember that, but it is funny. I did really like that we finally saw people learning how to knit. I was waiting on that, so that is really fun. And I think the two men, the teacher and his partner, they were really cute. I really enjoyed that. I mean, she's still my friend. She had that awful lamp for like 15 years. Oh, where did the lamp go? That sounds so cool. Hope you have loads of fun and don't punch anyone. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. At least now I can shoot them. So if I have a gun in my hands, that might help. Because then I probably shoot them. And if I shoot in fear, I aim better. So I might be really good at it. We'll see. Yeah, I liked his husband a lot. And I liked that we saw a gay couple. Because I felt they were missing in the books. And they feel very fitting. For some reason, I felt these books needed gay people. I feel like it fitted the books. It fits the vibe. Maybe because I associate gay people with coziness. Which I'm not sure if that is a compliment. If they take it as a compliment, but I mean it well. I like that Lucy found a teaching method that kind of works for her. Yes. Yes, I love that too. And I love the sarcastic comments about learning how to knit. Again, those always are funny to me. I enjoy those so much. And then we obviously had to see Ian Chisholm again after their breakup. That was quite terrible. Not terrible, but awkward. And I did like the scene where they were all waiting and then they one by one got picked off and interrogated. And I felt that scene was quite tense. Because they were really... That was the point they realized we have a murderer in our midst. One of us is the murderer. And who is it gonna be? And I really like that. Who was the lady with the soap stand that we wanted Lucy to date? I think it was that person. The lady with the soap stand was in the book before Fortune and Owls. That was in the Christmas Fair book. That was with the book plot murder. I didn't realize it was the same person in this knitting class. When I think he was called Anthony, he was talking about not knowing his birth mother, and then if it is her, I kill myself, or her, I was like, well, she's this book murder's victim then. Yeah. yeah, obviously. Yeah. It had to happen. Obviously, the woman who thought she was the world and filming the show very hard has to die, right? So there better be hints beforehand that she's the one that dies. But I did really like that she died with a knitting needle in her chest. I was kind of waiting for a knitting needle murder. Because it is such an obvious way to murder people in, a knitting club book. She was too annoying to live for long. Yeah, she was a great target because it could have been everyone. Everyone hated her. Nobody liked her. Everybody had motive to kill her. So she made a great victim. And I did find it so funny that she was trying to flirt with Rafe, who was oblivious to it. And Lucy was very, very agitated about it. I like how all the witches kept walking around the spot where she died. Yeah, that was, yeah. And then I like that was one of the clues on who the murderer was too, because the murderer did that too. And I like that. I like that it was in the little details. Same as with the watch and the painting. I like that that was the reason. Like the clue that gave it away. The third weekend in June for which day? Friday 19th, Saturday 20th. Yes. Alright. There is a pull-up. Did she have like 3 exes with? Yes, she did. She did. Yeah, that was the lady who got married and divorced multiple times. Wonder if a grammar will really move away soon. Yeah, I'm wondering that, and I get it, but I don't know if I like it. I think it can definitely bring new stuff in the books, and I think it might be important for character development. But I love Granny, so and if Sylvia's, yeah, I think if she goes, Sylvia would definitely go with her. I think Sylvia is the designated vampire to help her through. She is her shire. So I think if she goes, Sylvia will go with her. I also kind of want one of the vampires to sleep and numb someone. Yes, that yeah. Yes, especially if I feel like it is getting mentioned that is an option more often now. And I'm not sure if that is an omen that it actually is going to happen, or if that is just a reminder that they're, because they come across as very cuddly vampires and the writer decided that they needed to be more scary, so that is how she reminds the public. I don't know which it is. And I did like that Lucy's shop was chosen for this television show because of Nyx in a basket jar in the window. I was like, well done, Nyx. Well done. They don't act like vampires at all, except for the immortality. And the speed. The speed they knit with Jess is not normal speed. And I'm extremely jealous. I wish I had vampire knitting speed. And they do live mostly at night. But then for vampires, they are awake a lot of the day and they can go outside, so. But I do feel like the night element is there. And then they have their own blood bank, so. I do think there are enough vampire elements, but they're definitely cuddly. They're cuddly vampires. I like that Nyx kind of talks in her head sometimes. So, yeah. I think that was, which was the book with the scooter accident? That's the book that started explaining that. The telekinesis between them. Is that how you say it? Or was it telepathy? I think it was telepathy between them. And you do enjoy that too. I'm still very curious because I still feel like we haven't seen all of Nyx's powers. So I would like to see that still. And I hope we get there. Like, there are still a lot of books to go, so probably, right? Vampire Knitting Club. How many books? I think it's in the 20s. 15 primary books. So we're at the halfway, almost. 21 works in total. So book 0.5 is Tangles and Trees, and I have read that one and I enjoyed it. That book is about Reeve. It's his backstory. Oh, there is between book 8 and 9, there is actually a 8.5 book, Cats, Paws and Curses, and it is a holiday book. So maybe we can keep that for the holiday season, because it's only a 0.5, right? So there are 2.5s. How do we get from 15 to 21 books? That is not correct. I think it's the box set that counts. I can't remember, but I remember Lucy smelled tuna. Then when she got Nyx home, Nyx had tuna. Yeah. Just have to read the Raven. Yeah, the Raven is really good. I think you would really enjoy it, Jess. But I feel like I'm drawing a blank on more of the plot of the book, guys. So let me know. Do you remember anything else about Lace and Lies? Anything we still need to discuss? Because I feel like I can't remember anything else anymore. I did really enjoy it though. Like, honestly. It sounds weird if I can't remember a lot. But I just liked it. I forgot the tuna thing. Yeah, the tuna thing was really cute. I like that. This is why I love these live shows, because we all remember different things. And it reminds me of all the cute moments in the book. Because I can't have them, because I listen to it on audiobook. The next two books in a row are Bubbles and Broomsticks and Popcorn and Poltergeist. Oh, who invited Dad to the wedding? So, that is, obviously, there is going to be a wedding. Because, between Charlie and Alice. Oh, do you guys remember in the first few weeks there was a broom? And Granny mentioned that you can actually ride the broom as a witch. That is gonna happen. Or not. But like Nyx wants to ride a broom in the next book, so I'm excited for that part. Is that the one where the boring couple from the bookstore is going to get married at Rave's house? Yes, I feel like that is gonna be the next book, yes. Yeah, I didn't remember those names. Yeah. Fair enough. I have them here because I can read them. Otherwise, I would probably not have remembered either. That is interesting. So, who invited that to the wedding? When an Asian beam falls on one of the guests at Charlie's and Alice's wedding rehearsal, it looks like the work of the death watch beetle, an insect that eats old timbers. But fledgling witch Lucy and the vampire knitting club aren't so sure. Could there be a murderer casting blame on the wood-chomping insect? Meanwhile, the old broom that always stood in the corner of Cardinal Wolsey's knitting and yarn shop seems to have a mind of its own, and Lucy's cat is ready to hop aboard and take the broom for a spin, with it or without Lucy. Between learning a new knitting stage and keeping her broom and cat earthbound, Lucy hasn't gotten time to solve a murder, until it turns out the next victim is someone she loves. So who's gonna die? Join Lucy and her eccentric band of amateur sleuths in Oxford as they attempt to unravel a twisted skein of clues and catch a killer without dropping a stitch. I am curious about it. His chef was talking about serving Ray for generations, and that was depressing. Yeah, his father did it, and his other father did it. I was thinking that too, Jess. I am thinking maybe the Egyptian character is coming back. Yeah. Maybe she needs to help solve the case. This would be a good way to bring her back, I feel like. So that is what we're gonna read next. I hope Nyx flies the broom alone. I hope so. I so hope Nyx got to fly the broom. That is gonna be amazing. And I'm curious. It is somebody she loves. Like love. How close is Nancy Darren willing to go? Like, and is that person actually going to die, or is just the next on the list? Would she dare to kill the detective or Rave? Because Rave is hard to kill. So how are you gonna do that? And he's like probably one of the characters selling the books. So I don't think she's willing to do that. She might be willing to kill off the detective. That's called balls though. So I'm not sure. That is interesting. But I am afraid it's more gonna be of a like, oh, the detective almost died kind of situation. If it is Grandma, I'm gonna be so upset. That is gonna make me very upset. But I think this is it for today. Barbara is doing this reading challenge this weekend on her channel. So she is hosting book sprints currently. So if we want more sprints, that's where we go. I will go there. If she kills him off, she can't do the left triangle thing anymore. Yeah, fair. I wonder if it's one of the sisters from the cafe that looked out for Lucy. We haven't seen her for... Oh, that is true. Yeah. No, I love those sisters. Yeah. And I'm not sure if she will do it, because she had chances to kill them off with, when the murders were happening in their store. And she didn't. So... maybe it's Violet. I don't think she's a very loved character, so it wouldn't matter for the fans, but it is something very close to Lucy, so And it could be, you know, a scary witch thing. So it might help with character development and stuff. But it isn't too upsetting to the fans, if that makes sense. It's not a character that sells book. Or it could be William as he's skating or running. If it's William, I'm gonna be upset. Then I'm gonna be upset because I do not want William to die. I like William. I hope it's not William. But she does love William, so that is a problem. Alright, thank you guys for being here. I really enjoyed it. Let me check. Barbara is still going live, so we can still hop on. And I hope to see you guys there. Bye. I hope you guys see it. I've said goodbye. I don't know. Last time it was so fast. Or it was too fast, but then it was minutes for me, so I hope you guys can see it. Bye again. I'm not sure.